Hello everybody and welcome back to game number 2 between Underminer and MVP Phoenix. Game number 1, Underminer did very well early on in the game. Their draft really did signal their intent to win early and push into the base by about 25-30 minutes. Unfortunately for them, they were up against the Naga. There was just nothing really they could do once K Phoenix got Radiance on Naga. Their lanes got momentum against them, there was pressure into their tier 3s, and there was no way to close out the game. Let's head over to the draft now, and you can see instantly. First ban Naga there from Underminer. They don't want to deal with that. Axe is the first pickup there from Phoenix, not banned out, seeing as Underminer banned the Naga and Venge. Then Shadow Fiend and Weaver banned out by MVP. Three of those 4 heroes I can understand. Venge and SF are very, meta-based. Those are popular heroes right now that a lot of teams want to run. If you don't want to pick them, you may as well just ban them out, just so the opponents can't have them. Naga is like a respect ban because the last game is something they don't really want to deal with in this series. But the Weaver ban, is that something Underminer pick up? Is that one of their specialty heroes? It's not something I've seen, but then again, I haven't seen too much from Underminer. I think Toby's doing the majority of Southeast Asian Dota until recently. I'm actually just gonna try and quickly look up. Yeah, it looks like they run offlane Weaver quite regularly. Vissam, or is it mid Weaver? Because Vissam was their mid player playing the Viper, and it looks like he's been picking up Weaver every now and then. Interesting. But MVP looks like they've done their homework at the very least and banned out their Weaver. Underminer going with Lion as their second pick, and Skyrath from MVP. So they've got Berserker's Call into Mystic Flare. Pretty good combination. But then Underminer have Lasso into Finger of Death. Equally good combination. So far, the offlaner and support duo for either team, which has been picked up in the first 1-2, definitely can be very potent early. It's going to hit the stride once, obviously, Axe and Bat gets Blink. So we're looking at, 12, 13 minutes in is really when things start to click. And then at about 15, 16 minutes in, depending on how well or how badly Skyrath and Lion are doing, when they've got their Tranquils or Arcanes or Treads, when they start moving around with the rest of their team, when they've got level 6, more importantly, that's when they can go and try and find solo pickoffs. Well, not really solo, They move as 2 and try and find one hero. Pick off a solo hero and then turn that into an advantage. Underminer, scared of the greedy support from MVP possibly being a Chen, so they're going to ban that one out. But I don't know, I could see MVP going for dual lanes here. They have something like a Dazzle with the Axe up on top. What is there for Underminer to deal with it? Obviously, it's gonna MVP will have to wait to see how Underminer's draft progresses, because right now, both sides pretty open. Chen, Sniper, decent bans overall. Sniper, a very popular hero, especially for MVP. Throw him towards mid. And you just get that early lead. You win out on bounty rune exchanges, you win out on trading hits because of your increased range, and triple shrapnel allows you to get kills at like level 4 or 5, depending on how well you do when actually trading hits with people. Underminer though, it's hard to say because MVP doing their homework, they're probably going to ban out a carry hero there that Underminer like to run. I guess Troll is still in the pool. It's one of those things where you wonder, okay, well, they've got fighting potential really early on right now. We've got to have our 4th ban before the next 2 heroes are picked. And I think this is why I really like the current drafting stage, or the drafting phases. Because you get 2 bans, 2 picks, 2 bans, 2 picks. Instead of having a bunch of bans and then people picking like 1 hero or 3 heroes, it really does leave things quite open. So that last ban there from MVP is like, well, we've got 6 or 7 heroes that they could possibly pick. Which is the worst out of these 6? And I go with the Troll.
Drow Ranger.
Oh. Oh. Drow Ranger. Where did they go with this, though? We're looking at Drow Visage here from MVP because second pick phase is usually where, is 99.999% of the time where we see it. You get the Drow in the 3rd pick, and then the opponent's like, well, we don't want Visage. It's not a hero we can really fit into our draft. So most of the time, you just get the Drow Visage straight up without any contest. There's no banning, there's nothing like that. And it fits in exactly with what I was saying earlier. The fact you can set yourselves up for a certain series of picks. Before the draft even starts, you can say, okay, we've got first pick, we can do this. We've got second pick, we can go along these lines. I'm not sure if they pick the Visage here, or if they just go for the 4 ranged and 1 tanky hero. Quite often we see Drow picked up in a lineup where, you know, you've got Wind Ranger, you've got Viper, you've got 4 squishy ass heroes plus a Drow. It's really nice to see MVP stepping out and saying, well, guys, Drow doesn't really work like that. You need someone on the front lines. You need 1 melee hero to get in there and actually brawl. Because having 5 glass cannons, you know, stood around when you're being jumped on by Bat, being harassed down by Razor, it's just no good. You can take down towers quickly. You can kill Roshan incredibly fast. But actually fighting gets difficult. Wex Invoker here, probably going to be that for MVP. Wex Invoker with Drow Aura is pretty damn good. Exort has been unfavored recently, simply because it just takes too long. You need to get to level 9 to be potent. Sunstrike, sure enough, it's a good spell. Global nuke ability. But that means the enemy is going to be aware it's going to happen. They're going to be hiding behind the towers. They're going to be ready and waiting for the smoke from your, you know, Shadow Demon or whatever support you're throwing around. People just learn to deal with it. Whereas Quas Wex Invoker, there's no special tactics. There's nothing you can be like, oh, he's going to do this, so I can react or I can prepare for it by doing this. It's a case of Invoker has Cold Snap, Tornado EMP, an Orchid by 20 minutes, plus obviously Ghost Walk. He runs around solo killing people. He throws tornadoes from amazing range and then an EMP to burn your mana. There's no real setup you can actually do to prepare for that kind of AoE damage or that kind of solo pick-off potential. MVP banning out Bristleback. They don't want the Wisp Bristle turned back against them. Definitely the team that brought that combination to light. And Underminer here, what are we looking at? Drow safe lane, Invoker mid, Axe on the off lane, Skarath solo support. And then you go greedy jungler here, like an Enchantress, like an Enigma. With Drow, it's nice to have, you know, some familiars, some minions. Just that little added extra to push into towers. You don't need it, of course, it's not necessary. And when you're against Batrider with Flaming Lasso, Lion with the Earth Spike, I guess picking Enigma is a little risky. Sand King Skarath is always a very good combination. You've got the slow and things like that. Okay, they're going to run dual lanes here. Abaddon Axe up on the top, then Drow Sky bot. Invoker mid. How are we looking for Underminer? Bat off lane. Tiny Wisp mid. Razor Lion safe lane. So I was kind of expecting the Razor to just go straight mid. Do you then have Wisp Razor mid? It's not really a combination we see at all, but it could work. Give the increased movement speed to catch up and keep the static link going, then do quite a bit of damage with the increased attack speed as well. That does mean they've got 2 relatively greedy supports though, Underminer. Wisp requires level 6. Lion requires level 6. They need experience desperately. So I think running dual lanes is the only way to do this efficiently. Okay, they go for the Tiny. I like this. Tiny Wisp mid, Razor Lion safe lane, Batrider off lane. That is really the way this draft makes sense. Do MVP try and react to this? Because Invoker doesn't do well against Tiny Wisp mid. They can have Skarath sitting with him, but then Drow against Batrider, that's not really somewhere you want Drow to be. I guess Febby could sit mid for a little while with the Invoker, but the defensive capability of having the Abaddon there doesn't really outweigh the aggressive ability of putting him with the axe. That's how I feel anyway. The fact that you can shield the axe and just walk him into creep waves and possibly get a kill on the Lion kinda outweighs the shield on the Invoker if he gets stunned up by Tiny or chased down by the Wisp. We'll see what route they go though. And go over the team's nuts. He's going to be this hard 5 support once again. Observer Ward pulling tangos across the board. K-Phoenix definitely going for the Quaswex build with Blades of Attack and a couple of branches for him. Pull tangos, in fact. So he knows he needs the value from branches there up against the Tiny Wisp. March on the axe going up to this off lane. Ace of Spades or Febby playing the Abaddon. Probably going to be heading up with March as well. So yeah, dual lanes from them. QO the Drow Ranger on this bot makes perfect sense. JNY off lane Queen of Pain while Boys plays the Wisp with the Tiny. Where's he hiding? Okay. Clearing out the trees. That's pretty good. Then the Wisp can double stack these camps. Tiny will be going mid with Wisp while you have Razor played by Vissam and what's it? Cloud on Tiny. Where's the Lion? CK on the Lion. Runes here going to be contested. Looks like 4 from Underminer here going to go for the top bounty while the bot should be pretty much free for QO to take. Even Invoker's going. Does Invoker take this actually? Huh. Looks like it. Don't see why not. Get up to level 2 a little bit quicker, then you got Cold Snap a lot faster than you usually would. Top bounty gets taken up there by the Razor. I'm not sure why you wouldn't just give it to the Wisp. It's what we always see in European Dota. Wisp goes for Bottle Rush, gets Bounty Rune, click. Instant bottle. Then you don't have to wait around, you can go and, stack camps. There's nothing really you have to do further. So mid lane, Cross Invoker up against the Tiny Wisp. Going to have a relatively difficult time, especially with the Stout Shield on the Tiny. He's doing some decent right-click harass damage there. I'm surprised the Wisp is not trying to harass back. But he'll head into the jungle, stack up some camps. Even if the Tiny Wisp does go behind by some miraculous move from this Invoker, or if there's a rotation from the Skywrath, there's always the stacks to fall back on. Perfectly timed there, double stack on both camps. And Tiny's free to throw Avalanche out as well. That was interesting. Boys getting harassed out by Cold Snap and a couple of right clicks here. As K-Phoenix says, well, you tethered to a creep. What did you really expect? But this does drop Wisp low enough so he can then heal up and regen the mana of Cloud. Rune will be spawning in about 30-40 seconds. And how's this bot lane doing? 8 for 4 on the QO, so controlling the lane very well. Batrider, you just level 1. Yeah. Level 1 and 0 experience, kind of what I was expecting. The fact that Skywrath sits so high on the lane can then control the runes. But, Skywrath just literally stands there. He doesn't stack, doesn't pull, doesn't do anything. QO then has to control equilibrium on his own, but it's not that difficult. March, Berserk's Call onto the Razor. But he's lost quite a bit of damage, 56 per click from Vissam. The creep wave is helping Marsh to turn this around with the spins, but CK, Earthspike now, this is first blood to Underminer. The Hex onto Febby, they don't have any mana left, and it looks like he's gonna be fine. I'm saying this as he's taking one more right click, no! Febby just going down there to that Lion. I thought he was fine. He sort of stutter-stepped his way, ran here, then stopped. And then ran a bit more, then used shield. And then continued running. That's 2 kills for the price of nothing there on that top lane. When Razor, it was level 1 static link to begin with, but when he's draining damage away from the axe, the right clicks do mean a lot. Not only the right clicks from the Razor from the stolen damage, but the fact that axe wants to get in there, right click and spin. If you can't right-click for damage, you're not going to bring them low enough to kill them. Not quite sure why Boys is tethering up creeps there. Wants to push the lane into the Invoker, I guess, but... Is that Phase Boots? Phase Boots fully done. Cloud throwing out Avalanche. He could toss here, drop Phoenix to about a third of his HP, but it's not worth the mana. Because at this point, next time you go in, you've got Avalanche Toss combination. Oh, top lane, they find the Razor. And Wisp continues stacking and pulling. Well, not pulling, just stacking. Dry Ranger 23 for 9 on this bot lane, going for Wraithband and Treads, it looks like. Cloud healed up. 4th minute rune is a bounty down at bot, and joinY gets a haste. Does he kill Skywrath here? Oh, no, he doesn't, actually, because, you know, the Batride is level 1. Yeah, still level 1. He hasn't skilled anything yet. He needs level 2. Like, he actually needs to go and kill mod golems or something to get level 2. Then at least you've got Sticky Napalm and Firefly. Then you can take these 2 stacks. I'm not sure what joinY is even doing. It's 4.5 minutes in. I thought he'd get some experience, but he's just not going anywhere on this lane. What? TP on the top lane. March getting his damage drained by Viscem on this Razor. Can they actually kill him though? Tether on the line to speed him up and maybe close the gap, but it's not quite fast enough. So they can't get in there with the Earth Spike, and March gonna run himself away. Febby TPing mid. A little bit worried about what this Tiny can do, or they're just gonna go in for the kill. Cold Snap now, and the Undying. Abaddon! Right-clicking him down. Drow finds the kill on joinY, who is still level 1. Yep. Still a level 1. Oh, man. So Febby with that interesting rotation, the fact that he does have a decent nuke with Mist Coil, 200 damage. He found a kill on the Tiny, so Tiny with Treads and... yeah, Wisp's Bottle. They just did the little trick. Avalanche Toss, they've not got enough damage though. Just wants to throw out the mana so he can be regen back up. That's really rough. Do they take both? I guess it's a little bit risky if the Tiny Wisps do move up there. But they've got no... yeah, the call is go do both. Shield is going to wear off. And not be in time. It does a little bit of damage. Do they try and find a kill first? This is really great from MVP. They found the stack, they're going to find Cloud. The Tornado starts things off and sends him up into the air. Cloud now. Berserker's Call spins, where are you? Avalanche holds March in place, but the spins, one more, not in range. The Mist Coil will be enough to finish him off, and then a Culling Blade from March as he hits level 6 from that kill. Now they go and get the stack. So Wisp's efforts, stacking and pulling these camps and building things up for the Batrider, who is still level 2. That's early game gone. Batrider's like, hey guys, you know the gold you built up for me and prepared? Well, it doesn't exist anymore. That's really bad for Underminer. Really good for MVP. Bot lane, you've got the line now leeching experience down here as the Batrider has headed into the jungle. Looks like it's going to be the Mask of Madness build from the Drow. Treads, Wraithband, Mask of Madness, then maybe going to Sound and Yasha. Maybe going to the Blink, but I don't know. When you're against the Batrider, Blink isn't that good. It can be decent against the Lion, Wisp, and Tiny, because you can see them coming, or you can see where the relocate's happening and blink away to TP before they can stun you. But against the Bat, if you have Mask of Madness activated, you just can't blink away when he jumps on you with Firefly. What's the net worth looking like? Radiant Heroes, top 3. Drow with free farm on the spot lane, doing pretty well for himself. And is K-Phoenix really going a Midas on the Crosswex Invoker? We've seen it a couple of times, but I don't feel that's the way to go. On Exort, you really do need it, because you need to hit level 9, so you have the 4041 build. And then you need to pump as many stats as you can into Exort and Wex as quickly as possible. So what do Underminer do here to actually try and bring things back? Right now they're looking at a 4,000 net worth deficit and 5,000 experience lead for MVP. Tiny and Wisp is one of those combinations though that as long as you keep the Tiny farming and he does decently, gets an Aghanims around the 20-minute mark, then you can bring things back. Jump in from March, Berserker's Call, does catch the Razor and Cutting Blade. He's pretty damn close to this, slams him into the ground. While on the bot lane, Drow is winning that, taking the tier 1. I'm just racking my brains to try and think of what Underminer do here. The Razor is looking pretty lackluster. He's got treads, so he doesn't have the phase boots movement speed. He doesn't have the increased attack damage. He is nowhere near mech. The Lion is nowhere near blink because he hasn't been able to stack and pull. The stacks got taken away from the Batrider, so he's nowhere near his blink. It's basically everyone get onto Tiny's shoulders and hope he carries us. Give space to Tiny, get him his Aghanims, and then try and put some momentum down these lanes. Super, super difficult, though. Because you're looking at Invoker minus Phase Boots. His Orchid is going to be picked up around, what, 15 minutes? Maybe a little bit sooner, depending on how well he does. He's 1-0-2 against this Tiny Wisp lane, though. A lane which he should not be winning. And that's just down to the fact that Febby has come in here. An unconventional roaming hero. I guess he hasn't roamed, he's just reacted. He's been top with March, and then he's like, oh look, there's a kill mid I can go and help with. I'm going to TP mid. I'm going to move mid. Then QO with the Skyath there, just zoning out the Batrider, who's now level 3, I hope. Okay, he's nearly level 5. He's getting there, guys. He is getting levels. He's getting some experience. But kill potential right now is at an all-time low. Level 6. Like, Lion is a level and a half ahead of this Batrider at this point. QO is probably going to die here, though. They've got Finger of Death, but there's no reaction. With 3 heroes down here, Earthspike, Finger of Death, Lion takes the kill. I'm sure they could have given that to the Batrider or someone. I don't even know if Finger of Death was necessary as mid lane. They found Cloud. Nuts, spamming him down with Arcane Bolt. The Ancient Seal means that you can't throw down Avalanche of Toss, and now Febby. Runs towards the Wisp, hits the tower, pops his ult, gonna heal someone up, throw the nuke down. Another chasing the Wisp Tornado. On cooldown, he's got it ready now. I guess they used Tornado EMP before, so it's still on cooldown. Keeping the EMP. March with Vanguard completed. Yep, Vanguard blink 11 minutes in. He has had an exceptional lane up on top with Febby helping him out. He's in fact a leader in net worth. All across the board, MVP are just like, well, we let you have the other game last game and it got a little bit scary. But the fact we had Naga meant that we could come back. This game, we're not going to give you an inch. We're going to dominate you from the get-go. Abaddon Axe is going to crush you on top lane. They gave away 2 kills early, but it didn't really mean that much. Invoker is going to do well mid against the Tiny Wisp with the help of Abaddon's, rotating in. And then bot lane is going to be a complete crush. The Drow Ranger along with the Skyath, the long range harass, the fact that Batrider got no experience for the first 3 minutes or so. Demolished. And now Drow with a DD rune. Okay, he goes back to Ancients. Yasha, Mask of Madness. A pretty standard build there. And now they take control of the enemy jungle. They've got mid and bot pushing into the river, so that requires quite a lot of time and movement from Underminer to actually leave their base, TP to lanes, and go across the river. It also puts them open to reaction from MVP, because right now, Underminer don't see a number of MVP heroes. There's Drow in the jungle, which they don't know he's there. The 2 supports, I guess they can assume, are behind the Axe and Invoker. Underminer doing the right thing, though. They realize their jungle is completely crowded and swarmed with enemy heroes, so they can't go in there. They know the mid lane is a little bit risky because of the opening from their jungle into mid. So they push out bot, they take enemy jungle. They get as much farm as they can from the minute and a half that they've been given, but now Vissam overstaying his welcome as Marsh jumps in with a call. A Photic Shield is on him, but can they chase him down? They've got drums on the Razor, giving him that little bit of extra movement speed. Now Blink Put on cooldown by the plasma field, but March is pretty damn quick on his feet. Vissam, juking, jiving, Culling Blade, nope, not in time. Now the salve. Berserker's Call. Culling Blade not even needed to finish him off. QO, Mask Minus has expired, but they've got Lasso and Finger. One of them not even needed. QO going for the Yasha and Blink. So he wants the ability to jump from camp to camp a little bit quicker, close the gap on heroes, but also the defensive abilities of Blink are pretty good. If you see one of the enemy heroes coming, if you've got fast enough reaction times, you just blink the hell away. Overall net worth wise, 14,000 lead for MVP, as Underminer being hemmed in. Not as big as an experienced lead for MVP, it's mainly just been their farming efficiency. They've got Midas on the Evoker, so he's building up into Orchid and Force Staff. I'm sure I saw that Force Staff built earlier. But that's going to be, what, 16.5 minute Orchid and Force? He's going to be a solo killing monster. March and Febby can go roaming around killing whoever they want because Tiny has gone Treads Drums. He's slowed down his progression into Aghanims quite massively, and MVP are on the hunt. Can they find anyone? Yep, they found Cloud. Tornado goes across, maybe scouts their boys, I'm not sure how much vision that gave him. Relocate save. But they're going to get the Wisp at the very least. So they'll get the Wisp up at top, but they're also halting Underminer from potentially stopping Roshan. So Wisp goes down on top, Nuts is going to fall at mid. Lasso, and Earth Spike used there. Do Underminer know? How did Tiny get down here? Why is Tiny on low HP? What? Is Tiny got relocated back? Did they relocate him bot then, I guess? Not into Fountain? Well, whatever it was, he's on low HP for some reason. QO, Aegis the Immortal for him, drops the Wraith Band and TPs towards mid, just continues farming. 9,000 net worth at 15 and, well, almost 16 minutes now isn't too bad. But MVP have given a little bit of room to Underminer. They've been picked off a couple of times in the last couple of minutes. Lion is closing in on that blink. The Razor, does he still go back for mech? 16 minutes in, I'm not sure that's the route you want to go. You've gone Treads Drums, you've gone stats and increasing your damage output. Mech, I don't know if that's going to give you enough. The Wisp is looking pretty poor. The Batrider has got his blink and he's level 9. So, you know, 6 minutes in he was level 2 or 3. Now he's caught up massively. QO, Invis on the front lines. Is Lion just expecting QO to be farming jungle? Because he's taking tier 3. TP back from the line now, going to try and defend this tier 3 as Glyph is expected as well. March though, on top of the ramp. And that's 17 minutes in, tier 3 gone. MVP don't even need to stop here. Mask Madness is coming back off cooldown for QO. Racks are going to fall. They've got Lasso, but QO's got Aegis the Immortal. If they expend all their spells, they're just taking down the Drown once, they don't get him. Aphonic Shield stopping the Lasso, now Cloud turned back around on. The fight continues in the back as Vissam dropping low. QO a couple more clicks, yep, finishes him off. And poor old Lion. Arcane Bolt, the nuke damage, far too much for him to handle. Cloud, slowed up, Avalanche catches 3 and does secure his escape from this until, whoa. March blinks in and gets instantly tossed back. Great play from the Tiny there. I don't know if that was quick reactions or if he wanted to toss the Lion into his death or something. But regardless, they're holding their racks. QO has respawned. He doesn't have a second life. He kills Wisp, who buys back instantly. But CK losing his life. Or does he? Deafening Blast thrown out by K Phoenix. MVP have dropped really low on their HP. Resources expended. They've taken it to tier 3. They've forced 3 buybacks. 1, 2, 3 buybacks. So they can be happy with what they've accomplished here. They know they're ahead, and they know that they've secured their lead for the next 5 or 6 minutes. They can go back and farm. They can heal up. They can start pushing in top and mid and then return to bot lane at a later date. And now K-Phoenix has Orchid, Force, and Ghost Walk. How do you stop this guy from just killing everybody? Who does he find first, though? You have to go on the line here. There's like no other choice. But if you go high ground, he's going to spot you. He knows you're there. He's going to throw out the tornado onto the Razor, but gets stunned up. Hex first, then Earth Spike. Damage drained. In fact, not, because he's silenced up by the Drow. QO turns things back around. Culling Blade from March. Good turnaround there. Underminer looked like they might be able to find a kill onto the Invoker, who didn't realize there was a lion sitting on high ground. But the fact that the quick response was there from QO and March just to bring things back into their control. And K-Phoenix, with 3 levels in Quas, is going to regen up pretty nicely. March now with a Reaver, 1800 HP. He's still, you know, relatively low on armor though. So if the Razor's hitting him and has his ultimate spamming away, March could go down quickly. You know, theoretically. But racks have fallen here. QO on the front line just taking down the melee, ranged on about half HP, but they can leave it like that for now. Also the fact they don't have a creep wave. Creep waves tend to help when you're pushing into base. So they take the melee racks of bot and Underminer dewarding there. Tier 3 at mid, probably going to fall pretty quickly here. QO standing on the low ground. Eagle Song even for him. Invoker getting the bonus damage. 59 increase. Blink forward, lasso and full staff. K-Phoenix brought back, but Ace of Spades, Febby saving his teammate there with the Aphotic Shield. Now Tornado, Deafening Blast, EMP, what are you going to throw? Deafening does catch out the Tiny. Finger of Death not being used because the EMP drained all his mana. He lifted up his finger and started the animation. I thought someone was going to get zapped, but the EMP so perfectly timed. Unlucky for the line there, not getting his spell off, but no buybacks, no anything for Underminer as GG is called. Pretty massive lead there for MVP, over 20,000. That's over 1,000 net worth lead per minute. Dominating result for MVP taking game number 2. Game number 1 a little bit closer, a little bit scarier for MVP maybe, but their support, I've got to say, the combination of Walnuts and Febby has been exceptional. They're definitely proving that even when they've changed their rosters, it doesn't take that long for them to get into the swing of things. They've been showing great synergy. Their in-game communication, I'm assuming, is top-notch, because every move has just been sublime. That's it for now. MVP go 2-0 against Underminer. The next game is going to be starting very soon, in fact. It's going to be CSW up against Forever. So Miracle's team. So stick around. We'll catch you after the break.